Well, hello everybody, Dave here. I'm off today, so I wanted to make a video. I'm sitting out here in my backyard. You can check it out. So I'm just chilling here, and as normal, I'm like going through YouTube videos and stuff, and I love these prepper videos. These prepper video people really are entertaining. Now, I think living in nature, I love nature. Living on a farm, being self-sustainable is awesome. I think that's awesome. And I give all these prepper people, like, you know, my grandma, she canned food all the time and had gardens and animals. And I think that's really cool. Hell, I grew up on a 12-acre farm. I had horses, cows, goats, turkeys, chickens, everything. But the thing that I think is funny is I see a lot of these prepper people who talk about, you know, that the world, you know, everything's getting ready to crash. The stock market's crashing, the electrical grid's gonna crash, everything's just gonna crash. We're gonna go into martial law, or, you know, some type of, just everything's gonna crash. And you gotta be a prepper, they say, in order to survive it. And what I think is hilarious. Okay, let's say, for example, worst case scenario, everything just goes to hell. Whether it be, I don't know, an asteroid hits the earth, or some reversal of the poles, or some major quick climate change thing, or whatever, something bad happens and everything just goes to crap, and people are getting shot in the streets and the cities are burning down and all that. What I think people fail to take into consideration is there are right now on this planet 452 active nuclear power plants. And this is throughout the whole world. This isn't just located in America. This is located all over the world. So let's just imagine, under this end of the world Mad Max scenario, that the world's crashing. So do you believe, if the world is really that bad, that people that work at these nuclear power plants are going to hang around and like take care of the nuclear power plant? Of course not. They're going to get the hell out of there. They've got families. They're going to go home and take care of their families. They're not going to sit there at the nuclear power plant and go, well, I got to be a good worker and make sure this plant doesn't start melting down. So all of these workers across the whole world start running home to take care of their own families because everything's falling apart. So you got your prepper bag and you're on your homestead and you're like, man, I got tons of water, I got tons of canned goods, I got my guns, I got bullets, I'm safe. Well, it takes anywhere between 6 months to a year before all of these 452 nuclear power plants around the world melt down. And just imagine all of these power plants begin to melt down because there's no one there keeping them from melting down. So the radiation, the rods are going to continue to get hot, and if you don't pour water on them, you're going to have a core meltdown. So all the people left and went home to take care of their own families, now these plants are melting down and they're releasing their radiation into the sky. Well, there's a planet in our solar system that's something very similar. Now, it didn't have power plants on it, but it had some nuclear radiation issues, and it's called Venus. And Venus, for anybody out there who didn't study about planetary science in high school or college, if you read anything about Venus, you'll find out that Venus is a very, very hot planet, and it has no atmosphere because its atmosphere was stripped away by radiation. So that's what would happen to the Earth. As these 452 nuclear power plants begin to melt down, all that radiation is being released into the sky. Over time, our atmosphere would be pretty much ripped away from us. And then once that happens, all of the sun's radiation that we're protected from because of our atmosphere would bombard us. Plus, all that nuclear radiation from around the world, because all of these nuclear power plants are around the world, would begin to filter throughout the atmosphere on the winds. And even though you may be in your homestead up in Colorado on your 20 acres with your cows and your chickens and your farm and water and all that stuff, air goes everywhere. So eventually you would probably survive for a while on your farm. But within 5 years, and I'm probably being very conservative, I think it would probably happen in 2 years or less. But let's just say 5 years. Within 5 years, you would be bombarded by nuclear radiation and then would be suffering from the effects of the nuclear radiation from all of these power plants melting down on the atmosphere. That's one thing that I think a lot of preppers don't take into consideration. Yes, you can have matches that start fires in the rain, and you can have charcoal that can purify rainwater or puddles of water or standing water, but I don't think you can shut down all the nuclear power plants. So I really like the idea of being self-sustainable. I really like the idea. It's very attractive, but it's really not realistic in today's world. Now, back in the 1800s or the early 1900s, yeah, you know, a guy could go up into the mountains. Like, I love that movie Jeremiah Johnson. You go up in the mountains and just live free. But today, especially with nuclear power and all the power plants we do have in the world, if things really got that bad, we would all die anyway. So prepping, you might live an extra 5 years, but that's a big maybe. Thank you. Bye.